What's up? You're what? You wondering what's good about Postmates? Well, let me tell ya. Here's the deal. Postmates is an on-demand delivery service that I will show you right now on the screen. You have two apps. You have my app, which is the courier or the Postmates worker app. And then you have the actual Postmates app that you can download as well, even as a worker. And this just helps the customer order whatever they want to order. And then that delivery gets sent through the Postmates system and will get sent to you. They have many different things, as you can see: restaurants, convenience stores, pet stores, the Apple store. Most of the time, Postmates really does do food, small food orders or big food orders. You'll consistently get food orders, but there will be times where you get other orders as well. And so this is just walking you through the customer side of the app. And then once you sign up for Postmates and start working for Postmates, the delivery side of the app is pretty easy to grasp. It's well worth it. Postmates is amazing. If you want to make it a full-time job, you can. If you want to make it a part-time job, you can. The hours are super flexible and the pay is pretty decent depending on what city you live in. If all goes well, you can usually make anywhere between $15 to $25 an hour. 25 is pushing it. They say you can make up to $25 an hour. I feel like $25 an hour is pushing it, but on the good days, when good tips are flowing and everything like that, it isn't impossible. You do have to be of legal age. That means you have to be at least 18 years old to work for Postmates. In a lot of cases, you're probably going to want to be over 21 though, for sheer fact that you can take all jobs, including the cities of which you work in that do accept alcohol runs. The city that I live in just started accepting alcohol and tobacco runs. And so usually, obviously, to buy alcohol in the United States, you have to be at least 21 years old. But 18, it's a great gig. We deliver pretty much everything. I've delivered 2 Mac computers. I've delivered a car battery before. I've delivered just household items. I've picked up like pens before. I've picked up school supplies before. I've been working with Postmates for about like 2 years now, and I would consider it a job because I have to do taxes at the end of the year. It is a 1099, but you do have to file taxes at the end of the year during tax season, and therefore I would consider it a real job. You get paid money, you get paid for your work, time, and labor, and you have to file taxes. I usually tend to work about 3 to 4 times a week, just because that also allows me to do my YouTube videos, thus like this one. I love working Postmates because it is flexible, and I do make between $15 to $20 an hour because I do just treat it like a full-time job and I work a full 8-hour day, take a lunch and do all that stuff, although I don't think they require you to take a lunch. Some of the pros to working Postmates is that you do get to schedule your own work hours, so it is extremely flexible. The pay, especially on a good day, is great. Definitely get to use your own car. You can basically go to work how you want, hat, and just a blazer. I usually try and dress a little nice, but on the occasions where I'm just rolling out of bed and I really need to get to work, obviously I just kind of throw on something and I go to work to deliver. And it does show you like new places to try, gets you experiencing new things, and you do still get to, amp up your people skills. Those are some of the pros to Postmates. Some of the cons to Postmates, to be honest, is that if you have a bad day, usually it's just a bad work day. I don't know if that's common in some of the bigger areas like Houston, San Diego, or San Francisco, cities like that. But from where I live, you can have a bad day. Usually that's made up the next day and then some. But on the rare occasion that you actually get a bad day for work, it can be really dampening and really hard, and that's when you just have to push through. A bad day to me is kind of like making just, like minimum wage, about $8 an hour. And that also just depends on, like I said, how much you work that day, how many hours you work that day, and kind of like what area of the city you're in at that time. The other con to working is that you do have to use your own vehicle, and you do have to have a valid driver's license and valid insurance. And so it does, after a bit of time, especially if you've been working like me for about 2 years, it does tend to wear and tear on your car. You just add miles after miles on your car, and you're constantly looking at your tires, making sure that you're okay. And like I said, because of the city that I live in, it snows here a lot during the winter. It's super cold out. And just a lot of driving and wear and tear on your tires. So you do have to upkeep with your car. It is your responsibility. Some of the ways that you can help with that, though, is like keeping your gas receipts, and then keeping your miles that you've driven that year, and also keeping up with your phone bill, like how much phone service you use. And you can also, with those 3 things, claim those on your taxes at the end of the year. So hopefully you get back more on your taxes because you have those 3 things. And by doing your phone bill, basically you just call and say, hey, I need my phone bill records, I want to claim them on my taxes, and they'll send you your phone records after, confirming a couple of things. So those, I think, are the main cons. You do get some snobby people. It just happens, though. That's just kind of like with waitressing. You more so still like waitressing or being a waiter, you do depend on tips a lot. Tips help, and for those of you who use Postmates and don't tip, we do know who you are because we can see when you do and when you do not tip. And so the next time we get you, we're more inclined to just give you whatever you delivered anyways, because that's our job. But we do realize that you don't tip, and it does make it a little uneasy and uncomfortable for us to walk around or give you your delivery again, just because we depend on tips. And so we know who you are, we will find you, and we will give you your delivery and walk away with a smile on our face still. So we do a lot of times love tips, though. Tips help greatly, whether it's just $1 tip or it's a $20 tip. I mean, there's no amount to what a person can and can't tip you. My boyfriend last week just got a $40 tip. He did like over a $350 order, but he got a $40 tip. That's the biggest tip I've ever heard of. The biggest tip I've ever gotten was a $25 tip, and that was simply because I just delivered a MacBook computer. So that was really nice. One of the other cons is that they've kind of changed the system now, and so you don't get paid per how big the delivery is anymore. Like, you don't get a percentage of how big the delivery is. You more so get a percentage of like the delivery fee, and then you depend on tip. And how that works is like they'll pay you, I believe it's like 88 cents per drive time, 11 cents for how many minutes you wait at the restaurant, and then they pay you with a standard $2.40 base. I don't know if that's technically true, though, because I've had jobs cancel on me, and I didn't start out with a $2.40 base. I've only gotten a payout of like $1 or $1.88 if a job is canceled. So I don't know if that's technically true about starting out at a $2.40 base, because there's been several instances where things have happened that I've kind of looked at it and calculated it in my head and said that that's not correct and I should be getting paid out more. But then again, once a tip comes in, it's beautiful. And so yes, depending on how much you hustle, how much you really strive to make Postmates your number one, you can make a grip of money most of the time. Besides paying bills, if I need to hustle for a week or two, I can make a total of about $1,000. In a place where I live, it could be more, it could be less in the city that you live in, depending on how big it is or how well known Postmates is. And in that case, usually I hustle more around Postmates when it's time to travel, or when I'm going out of town, or when I need to go see a friend, or I want to go do something, or if a friend's in town, I'll definitely work a little more so that way I can earn more money, so that way I can have more fun. It's a good deal. They've definitely changed the system to where now it's easier to work for Postmates. When I first started, I had to go to an orientation or what they call an onboarding session. They may still do that in some cities. In my city, they don't anymore, it seems like. I had to sign up, and I basically waited like 3 months until they finally answered me, until I finally could schedule an onboarding session. I finally went to the onboarding session, and I had to bring a valid driver's license and valid insurance, which I did both, and I showed it. They did a background check, and then, and like the next day or two, I was able to get out and work. For my boyfriend, though, he basically just had to fill out all the information online, and then he would put his driver's license here. He faxed in his driver's license and his insurance, and then they in the next I think it was maybe a few days, they sent out his package basically that had his Postmates bag, anything he would need as far as cards go or whatever, and then his Visa. And that's also how Postmates works. Postmates is not out of pocket. You don't have to pay with your card and then they reimburse you. What they do is they give you a little Visa card. I have it right here. What they do is they give you a little Visa card that looks a little bit like this, and every time you accept a delivery, they preload your Visa card for that delivery, and then you go in, you pay for that delivery, and then you leave and you deliver it to the customer. In some cases, or now in most cases, my delivery has already been prepaid for, so that means that they've called the customer, or the customer has just already prepaid for it with their card, and then you go in and pick up the delivery and deliver it to them. And so there's that. Overall, I do think Postmates is worth it. Would I keep it as a job forever? Absolutely not. And that's why I do what I do now, switching between Postmates and YouTube, because YouTube is more and more becoming my full-time job, and that's what I'm aiming for. So it's definitely a great side job to get you to goals while still being able to pay off your bills and so on and so forth, and kind of take care of your responsibilities. You have surge times Uber, blitz pricing is what we call it, but it's surge times where you can make extra money at that specific time. I wouldn't depend on that though, just because a lot of times I feel like they kind of say that blitz pricing is in effect for the times that they might not have a lot of workers out and the demand is higher than the amount of workers, and so when they try and get workers to go online, they will blitz price. And then blitz pricing goes away fairly quickly for at least the town that I live in. A few more pros and cons that I just thought of was, one, you will go through an immense amount of gas, especially if you have a car kind of like mine that's not really good on gas. If you do have a car that's good on gas mileage, then you should be okay. My boyfriend's car does fantastic on gas. My gas, on the other hand, goes like that, but I do have an older model of a car, so I don't mind putting miles on this car. And also one of the pros is that Postmates is usually a week turnaround for pay. And so what that means is if you work on Monday, you'll get paid next Monday. If you work on Tuesday, you'll get paid next Tuesday. Forever, which day that you work on, usually it's about a week turnaround to where they will pay you for what you made for last week. And so that can be a con if you're in a little bit of pinch, and starting out with Postmates, if you don't have a substantial amount of money, it can be a pain as well. But usually by that next week, you'll be doing fantastic. And because the way that the banks work, because the banks are closed on Sunday, what you made usually on Sunday and some of what you made Saturday, depending on what time you made it before the banks close, will get paid between Monday and Tuesday. Usually for Chase, they will pay you out on Tuesday. You will receive most of the money that you made that previous weekend for that payout. And so that's always nice when you see money coming in every day into your account, because you know it's working, and that's how much you made for that day. Because you're already going to be using a bit of gas, you want to go to the hotspots. You'll see when you get signed up and you get into your delivery app system that there are little red squares usually, or red dots that you will see, and that usually means a hotspot. That means in that area there is a high demand for delivery there. Sometimes it works if you just go to that hotspot. Sometimes you'll get a delivery on the way to that hotspot. Sometimes you'll get a delivery if you sit in that hotspot, but most of the time I would say driving in that hotspot and driving around that hotspot enables you to get a delivery fairly quickly, and just keeping your eyes open and checking the map for other hotspots and other areas that may have become in high demand, and refreshing your app frequently also helps with that as well, keeping on track to being able to make some good money that day. These are just little things that you'll learn if you are going to start working for Postmates. Welcome to Postmates. Postmates is honestly a big, huge community. We all love to work together as much as we love working separate. They did not pay me to do this video, and they aren't sponsoring this video. This is just out of the goodness of my heart, because I did a working for Postmates video like almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and I just decided that I would do a follow-up video now, since I've been working with him for about 2 years. And so I don't know where I'd be without Postmates, just because, like I said, it enables me to do to make money while still doing my passion, which is YouTube and making YouTube videos. And go ahead and check out my other videos on my channel if you have the chance. If you like this video, hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to double subscribe and hit the notifications bell, just because you won't know if I post new videos due to the new YouTube system I guess they've kind of thrown out there now. So if you want more videos like this, or you want to make sure that you keep up with my latest videos, go ahead and also hit that bell to get the notifications that I've posted a video. And as always, if you want me to answer any more questions, you can ask your questions down below in the comment section, and I'll be sure to answer them as quickly and as soon as I can, and as fully as I can to my knowledge. And without further ado, I'll see you guys next week.